Prop 36 is my next proposition, and the title of this one is the Three Strikes Law, Repeat Felony Offenders, Penalties and Initiative Statute. So the Three Strikes Law, this Prop 36 would revise the Three Strikes Law to impose life sentence only when new felony conviction is serious or violent. So it revises that. Right now, the third strike could be for stealing a piece of pizza, and you'd get life imprisonment if you had 3 felonies. This one says no, only if that third felony is serious or violent would you get that kind of a sentence. So it revises the existing Three Strikes Law. It authorizes resentencing for offenders currently serving life sentences if the third strike conviction was not serious or violent, and the judge determined sentence did not pose an unreasonable risk to the public safety. It also continues to impose life sentence penalties if the third strike conviction was for certain non-serious, non-violent sex or drug offenses, or if there was firearm possession. So any new felony here is going to be a lifetime possibility of parole only after 25 years. So it wouldn't be impose a life sentence. And it maintains life sentence penalties for felons with non-serious, non-violent third strike if prior convictions were for rape, murder, or child molestation. So that's basically saying that if the first 2 strikes were violent strikes for rape, for murder, or child molestation, the third strike, regardless of what it is, even if it's non-serious and non-violent, would be a life sentence. So it's actually very carefully crafted to hit on certain felonies and certain crimes. And so what I'd like to do, just really quickly, for those of us who aren't lawyers, is tell you that there are 3 categories of crimes: felonies, misdemeanors, and infractions. Existing law classifies some felonies as violent or serious or both. Example of felonies currently defined as violent include murder, robbery, and rape. Other felonies are defined only as serious, such as assault with intent to commit robbery. Felonies that are not classified as violent or serious include grand theft and possession of a controlled substance, but not involving a firearm. So those are classified as, they're not classified as violent or serious if you don't have a gun. As of May 2012, there were about 137,000 inmates in the California prison system. The state's prison system in 2012-2013 is budgeted for almost $9 billion. In 2004, the voters rejected Proposition 66, which would have put limits on 3 strikes. So that was 2004, we're in 2012, and we're looking at this kind of issue again. So this measure reduces prison sentences served under the Three Strikes Law by certain third strikers whose current offenses are non-serious and non-violent felonies. This measure also allows resentencing of certain third strikers who are currently serving life sentences for specified non-serious, non-violent felonies. So if they, okay, I know that's a little confusing, but basically what it's saying is, right now, if you're in prison on the present three-strike law, but your third strike was not a serious or violent felony, the judge can take it back and look at it again, and your sentence can be reduced depending on safety, it sends it back to the judge. In other words, instead of having this law that's just out there and the third strike is stealing a pizza, which is a felony but obviously non-violent, well, let's say it was non-violent, that could be looked at again, and that sentence could be reduced from life imprisonment. So it allows some flexibility for the judges for that third strike. We're only talking here about the third strike. So arguments in favor of Prop 36 make the punishment fit the crime. So we don't have that kind of example of a small third crime that would cause life imprisonment. It would save California over $100 million every year. It would make room in prison for dangerous felons. It has law enforcement support, taxpayer support, but specifically the argument in favor talks about being tough and smart on crime. Criminal justice experts and law enforcement leaders carefully crafted Prop 36 so that truly dangerous criminals will receive no benefit whatsoever from the reform. Repeat criminals will get life in prison for serious and violent third strike crimes. Repeat offenders of nonviolent crimes will get more than double the ordinary sentence. And any defendant who has ever been convicted of an extremely violent crime, such as rape, murder, or child molestation, will receive a 25-year to life sentence, no matter how minor their third strike is. So if they have a really bad violent background, it doesn't matter what that third strike is. They're going to get at least 25 years to life. Arguments against Prop 36 talk about the fact that in 1994, voters overwhelmingly passed the three strikes law, a law that increased prison sentences for repeat felons, and it's worked. California saw a 37% drop in crime in the first 4 years after three strikes was implemented. In 2004, the ACLU and other opponents of tough criminal laws tried to change three strikes, and the voters said no. Now they are back again with Prop 36. They couldn't fool us last time, and they won't fool us this time. Also, the arguments against go on to say that, just like before, Prop 36 allows dangerous criminals to get their prison sentences reduced and get released from, and possibly get released from prison. And finally, they said, the independent legislative analyst says that the early release of some prisoners under Prop 36, that some of them could be released from prison without community supervision. Now, I looked all over the place for that quote, and I couldn't find it, but they're saying, those that are against 36 and against changing the law, they're saying that some people might get out of prison and have no supervision. I couldn't find that anywhere. But finally, they say, even if you believe that the three strikes law should be reformed, Prop 36 is not the answer. Any change to the sentencing laws should only apply to future crimes committed. It should not apply to criminals already behind bars, cutting their sentences short. So, who's supporting and who's opposing? We'll give a quick look at that. In terms of the funding, George Soros has given over $1 million. NAACP Legal Fund has given $175,000. The Peace Officers Research Association has given $100,000. It's not a big money like some of these others. It's not a big money proposition. But let's look at the groups that are endorsing. The ones that are yes and want to change the third strike are people like the California Democratic Party, the California Attorneys for Criminal Justice, the California Labor Federation, California Nurses Association, California Young Democrats, the City of Alameda Democratic Club, the Contra Costa Times, the Los Angeles City Council, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the Oakland Tribune, Peace and Freedom Party, and many, many others. I just picked out some that you might recognize. The no group that want to keep three strikes just as it is the California District Attorneys Association, the Police Chiefs Association, the California State Sheriffs Association, Citizens Against Homicide, which really made me laugh because I don't know if there's a lot of citizens for homicide, but these people are out there. And there's the Crime Victim Action Alliance, the Class Kids Foundation, and again, Poor Act Peace Officers Research Association of California. So it's a toughly written one, but I'll try to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you. Oh.
Is petty theft and grand larceny, are those both considered felonies? Where's the line?
Any lawyers in the house? Petty theft and grand larceny?
Petty theft is a misdemeanor. Grand larceny is a felony.
It usually depends on the amount of money.